this matter to take two drastic steps. One, to drag the trial magistrate here. I don't know whether she's even still a trial magistrate, to the Judicial Service Commission on grounds of incompetence and demonstration of bias in the matter and failure to impartially dispense justice. The other step we have also taken is to ask her to recuse herself from this particular matter because of apparent bias and incompetence.
Dr. Kizza Besigye has instructed his lawyers to file in an application to force the judge so that he can recuse himself from the case. We all know, I've done several videos about how the judiciary has some cadre judges. I see some cases being presided over by some judges and I laugh. They give out judgments which even a first-year law student cannot give out. We all know that under our constitution, if a person spends 6 months on remand, is supposed to get a mandatory bail. Yet when Dr. Kizza Besigye is not applying, you see the judges having a contempt of our constitution. I don't want to discuss the merits and demerits of the case, because I may be charged for sub judice. But I want to discuss the message which was given out by Besigye's lawyers to ask the judge from accusing themselves. So in this episode, I've come to talk about why Dr. Besigye is coming out to instruct his lawyers, Erias Lukwago, to force the judge from going on with the case, what it means for our democracy, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're not to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, Kizza Besigye is going to go in history as one of the people who fought for the democracy of our country. There are some things which were changing in our constitution because of Dr. Kizza Besigye. In Uganda, if you are in opposition, having a contrary view with that of the master, General Kaguta Museveni, you are seen as a rebel or as a traitor. It's the reason as to why even a few days back, the spokesperson of the army, Chris Magezi, came out to say that there are some subversive activities in Kampala and Wakiso. It is a scheme aimed at tackling Robert Chagulan's centum's influence, because for them, in their heads and stupidity, they think that any person who has a contrary view against that of the NRM is seen as a rebel. The regime thinks that since they came in power by being rebels, they think that even those who want to take them out of power are doing the same things. Okay? So, Kizza Besigye was arrested in Kenya in a very bad manner, because even the way he was arrested, the international laws do not allow a country to arrest someone inside another country without the due process. But Besigye was caught, okay, shame on this regime, and he has been in prison for more than 6 months. Kizza Besigye is the only person who has been in prison for a very long period of time, yet he has never been convicted by a competent court. Ever since Kizza Besigye came into the politics of the country, he has been arrested, but even the cases that Kizza Besigye faces, no judge has ever come out to say that he's convicted. Okay? Kizza Besigye must get a mandatory bail, but they have not given it to him. So he came out to instruct his lawyers to file in an application so that this judge can move away from that court. You remember when Kizza Besigye was arrested in Kampala for demonstrating about high prices? I think Justice, I've forgotten her name, he came out to give him bail terms of paying 20 million in a case where if you are convicted, you're supposed to pay a fine of not more than 2 million. Can you imagine if I go to a court and you give me bail terms of 20 million, yet even if I'm convicted, I'm not supposed to pay more than 2 million. What was that until he filed in an appeal? So this is what we are seeing. Before I proceed, let me first give you the speech of Besigye's lawyer, Erias Lukwago. Here's the tape.
It's matter to take two drastic steps. One, to drag the trial magistrate here. I don't know whether she's even still a trial magistrate, to the Judicial Service Commission on grounds of incompetence and demonstration of bias in the matter and failure to impartially dispense justice. The other step we have also taken is to ask her to recuse herself from this particular matter because of apparent bias and incompetence. She has indicated she's going to deliver a ruling on the 26th day of this month. So hopefully she will take the right decision, because this is a serious matter which touches the lives of our clients. It's a matter which is extremely delicate. It's a grave offense which invites a sentence of death in case of conviction. So that's how serious it is. And we don't want anything to be, handled in a manner which is not satisfactory. That's why we cannot leave any stone unturned in pursuit of justice for our clients. So this is the full length we have to go, and we are ready for a long hold in this matter, because it would appear this court now is becoming another kangaroo tribunal, like the General Court Martial, where Dr. Besigye and Obeid Lutale were arraigned before. You remember how we labored, how we struggled, how we waged a protracted battle to get out of the General Court Martial to come to civilian courts, where we thought at least there is some breath of fresh air, that there would be justice, that there would be respect for the dictates of the Constitution. But Allah, she's turning out to be like Franco Mugabe. His Majesty is becoming another Franco Mugabe, the one of General Court Martial. Flagrantly disregarding mandatory provisions of the Constitution, like Article 23, which talks about mandatory bail after one has clocked 180 days on remand. It's couched in mandatory terms, including the Magistrates Court Act, Section 76, which dictates that once one has spent more than 180 days on remand, no any other business you are going to conduct, save for considering the application for mandatory bail. As we speak today, she has even dismally failed to pronounce herself on just a simple matter of computing time, computing the period the accused persons have been on remand. Let alone doing a simple thing which is provided for in Regulation 10 or Guideline 10 of the practice guidelines that were given by the Chief Justice, that in the event that the trial magistrate who is conducting the pre-trial processes in a capital offense like this one find themselves in a situation where they have one accused who has spent more than 180 days on remand before committal, you forward the file to High Court. We ask for just a simple thing, that kindly submit the file to High Court for purposes of processing mandatory bail for Dr. Besigye and Obeid, and she declined.
That is Erias Lukwago. So you clearly see, even the lawyers are right. Kizza Besigye cannot continue being in jail bila mpango. Okay, these things must stop. Kizza Besigye has suffered. Kizza Besigye is 69 years. If in the most unlikely event Kizza Besigye dies in prison, what would the government come out to tell us? They'll be the first people come out to mourn and send Mabugo because he was former NRM. The guy is old. The guy is not even healthy. You are keeping him in prison for 6 months because of some stupid things that you don't allow opposition in the country. The regime should come out and announce that there will be no elections so that you can understand. You cannot continue jailing opposition leaders and their supporters because you don't want to be challenged. Come out and say that there will be no more elections since I'm the president. I mean, he said that. We cannot continue being in this country as if you are second-class citizens. That should stop happening. That's why you must continue fighting. Of course, that's my opinion. Do not be caused by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on the YouTube channel, employ you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. Let me also take this opportunity to tell you that I, Kawyesu Imanu Mawagali, will be running and contesting as a member of parliament for Makinde East constituency. It is time to redeem our constituency. The great people of Makinde East are sorely being misled. Their voice has not been heard on the floor of parliament for more than 20 years. Ever since Sebana Kizito went, we've not had a substantive MP to put out our voice there. It's time to vote a leader, not jokers. It's time to vote a person who understands what it takes to be a leader in Makinde East, and there is none other than yours truly, Kawyesu Imanu Mawagali. Okay, I will see you on another one. Peace.
Nange benjagala obulungi.